Hi again, this is Matthew Smith, and I hope you enjoyed my video. In case anybody was watching about my first time that I was in Wells, Maine, back when I was 9 months old. But soon after that, I can certainly remember I was walking early on, and I was getting more hair grown out of my head in curls. But after that, in 85 and 1986, the next couple of times that we went to Maine, 1985, we had another summer vacation where we were in that same house on Riverside Avenue. Only this time I was walking and I was in a stroller just like before going down to Wells Beach and everything. But after that summer, many of us in our family were starting to wish that Maine were become our permanent home as we got older. So we were just looking forward to when we go back, if it wasn't during the summertime. So it ended up being during the early spring of 1986. My parents took me to this wonderful hotel complex on the end of Mile Road in Wells Beach called what was then named the Forbes family. It's now called Lafayette Oceanfront Resort, in case you were wondering if that hotel is still around, which it is. And at that time, it really only consisted of one or two main buildings. So the ones we were staying at was most likely the original Forbes location, which was the Driftwinds Hotel. It was about 3 stories and very comfortable, spacious rooms right on the water. And as they say, only a boat would get you closer to that. So it was the very first time, I believe, in my memory, that we were staying at a hotel off season when we traveled to Wells, Maine. But a couple months later, when the weather got warmer, my family rented a the trailer which was located in Beach Acres and Eldridge Road for the first time. And during that time, we had a little bit more money in our budget. It was because my parents were working not only as their professor jobs in both Boston University and Wellesley College, but they were also doing some separate night work to make a little extra money. So it was that time when my parents weren't seeing me as much as they could possibly, and I was getting mostly looked on by my grandparents on my dad's side. But that weekend when we would go to Maine and go to Beach Acres, that was really when we could afford to spend some valuable family time together. We would relax, we would have a campfire at night. And when we started, it was just that trailer, which was a 1970s edition called the Terry trailer, where it had room, which I believe for maybe 6 people to sleep in at the time. And there was really only two twin beds. That would be eventually myself and my grandmother. We would sleep on that end. And then my parents would be sleeping on the opposite end of the trailer where the couch folded into a bed. So when we started there, we didn't even have a porch. It was just a tent attached with an awning and a brick or wood floor where we had a picnic table. So at first in 1986, when we had that, that's what we could start off with. And during the time, I was really into mid 80s children's television, such as Sesame Street, Muppet Show, and most notably Kids Incorporated. So that's the reason why I listened to music at that generation more than most of my friends would eventually. But to get back on the first year that we were in Wells, Maine at the trailer park, we needed an awning and and the porch so that we could have more space to put some of our chairs and a couch and our television so that we could have some more open space, and it would make it easier also for us to sleep out at night. That problem was corrected 1 year later. And from then on until my father passed away in 2007, when those weekends come in the late spring, summer, and early fall, we would just go up there for the weekends and have a second home. Great place to relax, good place to go within a mile to the beach. And my father would take me in the morning when he would pick up the newspaper so I could have a bottle of chocolate milk. And we would go driving along the old Riverside and Atlantic Drive in Wells, Maine, a joy to Mile Road. So from then on forward, it was a nice, comfy place, and we agreed that was Maine the way life should be. So there'd be a lot of changes and lots of things that we would do when we would be in Maine from then on. I would learn how to ride a bike, I would learn to swim, and I even found a place where I could meet new neighbors and then would go to a playground that was close by our trailer. So, and for your information, our regular home, of course, for many years was Burlington, Massachusetts, around the time we stayed in our place in Wells, Maine on the weekends. So if you ever go down to Eldridge Road and Beach Acres, you'll meet the owners there. They're very nice people, and they can help set you up with one of those trailers for rent. And if you want another motorhome or RV or trailer on your own, there's the couple locations close by where you can look into that. So just relax and make it your home for the weekend, especially if you have your permanent home somewhere else, especially in other places in New England. Okay, have a good day, everybody. And my next post, I will tell you about those later years we were in Wells, Maine, and what I can remember.